Well, thank you, Nigel, for doing this.
You're quite welcome.
If you could just introduce yourself, tell us maybe where you were born, what you do, and of course, name.
So I was born in Carriacou, Grenada, which is in the Caribbean, southern part of the Caribbean. Moved to Canada in 1990 at the tender age of 17. It was a drastic culture shock. Not been around. Well, actually, I came with my mom and my 3 siblings, but the fact of being away from your families back home, it was a drastic culture shock for about a good 3+ years.
Yeah.
I had to just try to find my way and just get accustomed to the culture and the lifestyle in Canada, which was not the easiest thing, but I grew to appreciate it and work with it to help me progress till now.
Did you arrive here in Vancouver?
Yeah, I moved straight from Grenada to Vancouver. Stop off in Toronto, overnight in Toronto at the airport, and then transit into Vancouver the following morning, which was also a culture shock because it was December and there was a lot of snow. So that was just a different challenge altogether, but yeah.
So how did you find the reception sort of the people, or?
It was challenging because at the time moving here, there wasn't much people of my background, not much black folks. I moved here to Surrey, so it was a challenge. I mean, I was on the bus trying to go to school and stuff like that, and you met no one of your culture, no one of your color, so it was a challenge. But with the support of my mom, I just had to forcefully deal with it. Granted, I wanted to go back there. I literally didn't want to be here, but my mom encouraged me to stay, and that's how I ended up staying till this day, because of my mom.
So how were sort of school experiences? You said.
So when I moved there, I had just finished high school back in Grenada. So of course, come here at the age of 17, you had to transition into going back into school to get your GED, because at that time I'm 17, I can't start high school at that time, so I had to end up going to night school to get my GED to qualify to have the Canadian standards of education, which to me, I didn't really see much into it, because stuff that I was learning at that time, it was stuff that I did in elementary school back home, but that's what I needed to do and to get myself into school, so I just did what I had to do.
Yeah. So like a lot of stuff that you did probably back home,
Yeah, I've already done some of the stuff even in elementary school back home, and some of the stuff that I was like, I have to do this to get a GED program. But I mean, you just have to deal with it, and I know that I just wanted to just being here to get any kind of jobs, you have to have that standards. And I mean, I didn't have no one to help me get a job through friends and stuff like that, so I just had to do what I needed to do to get where I needed to go, so I just did it.
Yeah. Did you meet any kind of community? You said you were pretty.
So when I first came, though, I had an aunt who lived there, and she had some friends. So I instantly met a guy by the name of Sam Games, which he was right after the bat. He showed me around and took me around and helped me just ease into just being here by myself. And then my aunt had some other family friends who I met within a couple of days, and so we started hanging out. He was at the same age group, so we hanged out and stuff like that. So that also pushed a little bit, but it still was not really family. So it was.
Were there any sort of cultural, religious, or family traditions you really missed from back home?
Well, for me back home, it's the culture is different, and you have like different family cultures. Like Easter's and Christmas is very, very big in the Caribbean. That's when families get together and you celebrate those events with your family. So when coming here, that was a drawback, because they never really had that kind of stuff. And then my aunt, who was Seventh-day Adventist, she was not into that kind of stuff. So that was just shell shocking to see that. Hey, it's just different. So that was also challenging, but you just make do with the best that you had, and just let it work.
Was cricket already back when you were much
So-
younger?
So
thing,
back in Grenada, I think I probably started playing cricket probably the age of 6 years old. I just see the game and love that. And so I ran track and field in high school, played soccer, which is football, and played cricket all through elementary school, all into high school. That was just what you did. If you live in the Caribbean, you play cricket, you run track and field, you play football. That's the norm. Things has progressed and changed now, but that's just what you did back then. So for me, cricket was like something that I just had passion for. I just wanted to be a part of the cricket field. I just remember being young ages that I would just escape from my mom's and them and go to the cricket ground where the game was being played, and then my mom would come and get me and bring me back home. But as soon as I get back into the yard, I'll find my way back out because I just wanted to be at the cricket field because I just loved that.
So it was absolutely everyone. It was like really
family.
family.
So it's a culture and it's a
culture.
family. Like if you live in the Caribbean, cricket is a big family culture oriented kind of thing. If you don't be in cricket, if you didn't play, you still show up and watch the game. Like there's days where you have the elders, women, kids, they all show up just to watch the cricket, and that's just part of the culture. Yeah, it's that's what keeps the whole Caribbean body together. That's what keeps it together. It's like the thing. That's just what you did.
So when you came to Canada, did you know that there was cricket here?
So I had no intuition there was cricket here, and of course my aunt did not let me know that was cricket being played. But the friend who I met, he told me yes, there was cricket being played. So a couple of incidents, he took me to Maccary Park to watch a team play. But at the time when I got here, I mean I was 17 years old, so no disrespect to the guys I was playing, I just look at their work ethics and where I came from. And I'm like, I can't be a part of this. Guys was not training as hard and practicing as hard as I'm used to. So I'm like, I'm not playing this thing. So I went and played soccer. But I remember, even though I was playing soccer, cricket is always in the back of my mind. Like I have to find a way to play cricket. But I knew the only way for me to play cricket, I had to play cricket with a team from the Caribbean. So I went to Stanley Park. Just happened to be at Stanley Park, and there was a tournament being played. And one of the guys, I was in my street clothes, and he came up to me and says, "Hey, do you play cricket?" I said, "Of course I do." And he's like, "Well, why don't you come and play?" I'm like, "Well, I got no cricket equipment." So he says, "We'll get you some cricket equipment." And I actually played that. It was a six-a-side tournament that I actually played, and we won that tournament. And I think that was in 1993. So I was there from 1990. I didn't play cricket in 1990, 91, 92. I played no cricket. But then I played the tournament in 93. And after that, there was a lot of guys around. And I'm like, you know what? I'm getting back into cricket. And from 93 to now, I've never stopped playing cricket one day.
So that first cricket team that you saw here, then that wasn't a West
Indian. Yeah, it was a
Indian
West Indian team.
or
It
what?
was a team from the two clubs called. So back then there was two West Indian clubs. One was called Carib and one was called West Kent. So those teams was playing together at Stanley Park. Later, those two teams merged together to become Windies Cricket Club now. So after that, I just said, you know what, I gotta stop playing cricket, and that was that. And I joined at the time the Windies Cricket Club.
And the Windies, where are they located?
So Windies Cricket Club is looking at Maccary Park, which is the corner of King Edwards and Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
That's Maccary Park, and that's where our home ground is. That's where we do all our training. That's where we congregate as a family on Saturday and Sundays. It's the thing. To be quite frank, Maccary Park is probably the most popular cricket ground there is in all of BC. Where, on any given day you come to Maccary Park, you would find once a game has been played, there is spectators. There is people just show up just to be part of the environment and part of the culture. And it just helps the morale in every way possible, and it, to me personally, is great. And it's the city of Coquitlam has been good to us in giving us that platform and the ground to play at. Because at the time when cricket started playing at Maccary Park, cricket was the first sport to ever play at Maccary Park. No football, baseball, soccer, nobody wanted it because they all thought it was just a dump. So, of course, hey, we from the Caribbean, we find ways to play cricket. So they said, hey, the park is available, and we jump on it and we took it. And so now it is where it is. That it's probably one of the park that every club, every sport want to play at now. But kudos to City of Coquitlam and the Windies Cricket Club for making Markham Park what it is.
So did you get support then from cities or outside?
So we have not gotten any support. The only thing that the city does, what the city does, that what it would have cost to rent the fields, they give us, because we are become a member of the Coquitlam Field Association group. So we got a discount on the permit to play at the park. So they help us in that department. They have helped us with infrastructure wise, making sure that the ground is cut, the grass is cut proper, and of course when the mat was damaged, they help us replace the mat, which we're still fighting with them to replace, but everything has a process, and we just biting our time to hopefully that one day that we'll get, well, hopefully next year we'll get a new mat from them. But all in all, the city of Coquitlam has been good to the Windies Cricket Club. Though I can't complain too much.
Yeah. And I've heard that there are players from the West Indies that's coming to here to Maccary Park or to Windies play a season or a while. And
so over the years, I would say probably over the last 15 years, we have invested in bringing players from different islands within the Caribbean to come up and play for the club, just to help the morale of the club, interact with the younger players, and just help to just keep the culture going. And once somebody comes from the West, from anywhere from the Caribbean, you know, they got that natural Caribbean flair and culture. So it just helps mold everything together with what we have going and what they bring to the table, and it just helps the club grow. And it's a family. The Windies Cricket Club is very, very family oriented, very, very. So it's encouraged the senior players to come out, a lot of the males and females, younger kids, the little boys and girls, they actually come to the park just to see how we conduct ourselves, what these imported players do, how they help the club grow, and it's been going tremendously. So my personal, it's a good investment, and it also helps those players to come overseas and play in a different condition, because a lot of the guys them has interest in playing international cricket. So by coming here and playing a season of cricket here, it helps develop their game. It helps because the condition is different, the playing surface is different, so it helps them grow. And for me, it's a way of just helping these guys then transit the game to a different level and helping them grow and end up playing international cricket or playing cricket all over the world. So for me, that if the club will give them that platform, it's a plus for the club, it's for the culture, the city of Coquitlam.
So you actually pay for these players to come here?
So the club actually pays for the flight, accommodation, food. The club covers everything. Mm-hmm. These guys, they don't get paid. They just come up and play the season. Mm-hmm. But we just make sure that the food is taken care of, the accommodation is taken care of, the flight is taken care of, and of course we take them around to see British Columbia, which is a beautiful province, and they gain that experience. So when they go back, they could tell their families. Over the years, guys has brought up their wives and their girlfriend and their kids to come up and be a part of the culture and enjoy what British Columbia has to offer.
Yeah. So, but it's also really an important connection for you to back home, because bring their they assume bring their culture so they renew, because I think some of the younger ones here might forget stuff from home.
Exactly. And then what it is, every island in the Caribbean has a unique culture. We all pretty much, they might think that they're all the same, but we all have our unique culture. So when you get stuff like that, it just helps the morale of the Canadian kids understanding, hey, the Caribbean is a big melting pot of culture. It helps them to understand the different foods, the different language, because everyone has their own slang. So that kind of comes in, and kids learn the different slang and the different language and the different ethnicity and the different food of choice and stuff like that, the drinks of choices. So that also helps the morale of the kids up here, because for me, it's growing our culture is very important to me, and growing the Caribbean culture is very important to me. So I think when you do stuff like that, it just helps transaction the whole culture of the Caribbean on the whole, and let people see the Caribbean is not just a group of islands just sitting there. We got a lot to offer, culture-wise, family-wise, and structural-wise, we have a lot to offer.
So cricket, and really, I hear, is also really unites also the Caribbean,
so
which
cricket,
is not...
Cricket keeps the Caribbean together. It's the glue of the Caribbean, and that's the reason why you have the Caribbean team, which is called the West Indies cricket team, because you have players from just about every island in the Caribbean makes up the West Indies cricket team, and that keeps the culture together more than any other sport you could think of. But that's the one thing that we have in the Caribbean, because all the islands has their own politics to deal with. And so music and cricket keeps the Caribbean together. It keeps a bond within the people, and that's the reason why we interact with each other on that kind of level, because that's where the growth comes from.
And then it does the same here.
Yeah, and when we come here, the culture just gets better, and it helps the different people within BC to understand, hey, probably we should try a different island in the Caribbean, not just go to Jamaica, just go to Barbados. Hey, there is more to the Caribbean than just those two main islands where everyone thinks it's a tourist destination. So that helps a lot. Those stuff really, really helps a lot.
How do you find, or how do you sort of engage with the younger generations? You know, like there must be obviously now that are born here who think hockey is maybe the thing or something. So how do you find that? It's tensions?
It's a challenge, because for them they don't really understand the history and the culture of cricket. So cricket in the Caribbean has been played over 100 years. But if you're born here and all you know is hockey or baseball or basketball, and depends on your parents, if your parents don't instill, hey, cricket is what we've played, cricket is what we know. So it's hard for the younger generation to get them to buy into the scheme, and that's why I think 16 years ago I got into coaching, because for me it's a way of imparting the knowledge on the younger kids and trying to get these younger kids and the Canadian-born kids them to get into the game, to play the game so we're not just depending on the guys from the Caribbean to keep the culture going and keep it going. So I try to incorporate that, and that's why I started coaching myself and my coaching partner Patrick Davey. We started a coaching program, and that has helped. I've gotten quite a bit of Canadian-born kids to start playing the game at the junior level, and now they are start playing within the club. So that has transitioned quite well, and I'm just going to continue doing it, because for me, I love cricket. Cricket, I call myself a cricket junkie because that's what I do. Cricket has kept me. Without cricket, I'll probably be a different person, and cricket has kept me grounded. It kept me out of trouble. It kept me from doing things that, as a youngster, I could have got myself into. So I owe homage to cricket in every way possible. Cricket and my mom. That's kept me who I am, and just my family structure.
Nice. So how do you spread to how do you reach the youngsters?
That's also a challenge. So I do word to mouth. We do a family day, which every, I think the first week of August we have a family day, which we call the Windies Cricket Club Family Day, which it's a day that you don't have to be from the Caribbean. It's a day when everyone could come to the park and just understand the culture, because there is music, of course there's cricket, there is food, and there is different obstacle sports for the kids. So by doing that, we allow people to bring their young kids to come to the park, and what we do for the young kids, the kids don't have to pay for nothing. The club cover the cost. We make sure that the kids come to the park, they eat, they drink, they have fun, they run around. We give them different activities to be involved in, and by doing that, you could get some young players from that. So I think we've started doing that about 14 years ago. This family day, so it's just a way of giving back to the community, the city of Coquitlam, and just the culture, and allowing people to feel free. Doesn't matter what color you're allowed to come to the park and bask into the environment and the culture. So if you're Chinese and you want to come to the park and watch cricket or just understand what the culture is, is an open door policy for everyone to be a part of it. And by that, it just helps spread the culture, but it helps spread the awareness of cricket and what the cricket does for the community. So it's just a very integral part of the club. So that's the way how I do. I also do a lot of sports fair for the city of Coquitlam. where they allow me to set up cricket camps, to have people come and try out cricket, and so I've been doing it. I think probably over the last 10 years, I've been involved in every sporting affair that the city of Coquitlam puts together. I.e. Town Centre, I've done it at Poirier Park and Recreation, I've done it at Coquitlam Centre Mall, I've done it. I've volunteered my time to make sure I could introduce the game to people. Doesn't matter how busy I am. Once cricket is involved, I make myself available.
And how do you find the reaction to it? People like
the reaction. I think the reaction now is a lot more fruitful, because for kids though, kids has no fear. Kids just love to try something. Seniors might want to say, "Well, what's cricket?" and they might have a frown on their face. You tell a kid come and try something, they try it, and the response I've gotten from kids has been very, very great. They all come and do it. They like it. And before the end of the day, they will be telling the parents, "Can we start playing cricket?" And just that alone, just give me joy. Just seeing kids who knows nothing about cricket try that and wants to be a part of it, it's gratifying, right? You can't ask for anything better. And just seeing that this sport and the culture there's a lot to it that it might be shown in North America. Around the rest of the world, it's a different story.
Has COVID affected your club? I mean, did you shut down? Did you lose
COVID has affected the club, and it has affected my junior program, because for 2 years I had no junior program, so I lost a lot of kids. And within that 2019 to 2020, I had a lot of kids who was on the verge of getting really serious in playing the game. But that 2 year span, I lost a lot of those kids, and it's a setback. We lost players because players transition, players just stopped playing. So it has been a setback for us, I would say financially, and just a matter of just spreading the word of the game, right? So we lost a bit of COVID. Of last 2021, we had a half a season, but it was nothing really to it. 2022, this year, it's been a great season so far. As myself has been the captain of the team, we've performed extremely well. Won the division. We tied with Kelowna in first place in the Premier Division with the whole British Columbia Cricket League. So that's a great achievement. So I must say 2022 has been good, even though we had a downfall for the last 2 years in cricket. But it's just a matter of just growing, getting the word out there, and getting people interested. And trying for me now is just trying to get young kids to come back out and start playing cricket. I'm sure I probably lost them to baseball or basketball or football or whatever, right? But I'm not going to stop. Thing with me, cricket is embedded in me, so I'm not going to stop. I'll keep on pushing for cricket till I can't walk anymore.
Yeah, it binds also your entire life, your family, and everything.
Binds everything. Guess, right? So and it just keeps a family structure. You meet a lot of friends. You meet a lot of people of interest. Yourself, as somebody who I've met for the first time when you came to the park. So just because of that sport, I was allowed to meet you, and that's what the sport does, right? You allow you to grow, you allow you to change your mindset and your thinking, and it just helps. It helps development in a lot of different ways.
I don't know if you use my hands.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you for doing the interview with us. That's great.
Yes. This is fun.
If you could just introduce yourself, give us your name, where you were born, and what your profession is.
So, my name is Christine Cho, and I was born in South Korea, but I came here when I was only 3, so pretty much all my life I've been here. I've lived in the Lower Mainland all my life, and I went to and did actually all my studies, never thinking that I was going to own my own shop and a dog bakery, but this is where I landed. Yeah, so I went to university, I went to BCIT, I did all sorts of things. Helped in the back end of things, but the baking part was just something that I always enjoyed, and I strayed from when I was going to university.
Yeah, I was wondering, how did you start baking? What kind of set you up on that path?
Yeah, so after going through all that schooling and doing what I was thinking, I was eventually going to be an architect. That's what I thought a long time ago. But I got sidetracked, and it turned out that maybe that wasn't the career for me. I had a dog that I had adopted. Her name was Maddie. It's all on my website, but she had a really sensitive tummy. and I had to sort it out. She had the worst smelly fur. Her stools were never right on all the commercial dog foods that were out there. So I researched like crazy. I started cooking her food, baking her treats, and that's how this all happened for her, really. And so what Big Dog, Little Dog Bakery is about is healthy alternatives that are really...
Is there anything else you want to say? Do you have any, like a great experience that you have, or funny or sad, or something that you think you want to, or something that we haven't touched on that you want to add?
What I would like to say, where the sport is concerned, I think there's a lot of growth within the sport, that the sport could grow a lot. There's a lot of politics within the sport in Canada that's hampering the growth of the game. But that said, for me, it's just a matter of me just trying to... I'll keep pushing the narrative where cricket is concerned till the day, as I say, I can't walk anymore. Fun stuff. There's always fun stuff, because winning the division tie with Colombia, becoming first place is a great achievement for me. It is one of the greatest achievements. Having the likes of the guys from Barbados, Cheyenne Brathwaite, who scored, I think, end the season with 819 runs, scoring 231 runs in one game. That's a great accomplishment. Just being a part of that, I've never been around that in my entire life, and I've been around the game for over 30 years, and just seeing that this guy is only 22 years old. So it was a great achievement, a great accomplishment, and knowing that I was the captain at that time, to see him batted through 50 overs and scoring 230 runs. I don't think he has ever been done in the BCMCL in Canada before. So that's being part of the Windies Cricket Club. Having that achievement is great. Of course, you always have the downfall where you have people who doesn't know anything about the sports and be ignorant about it, and they have the slurs and the racist slurs to throw out, and you guys are just here to smoke and drink and all that nonsense. But I don't get caught up with that kind of nonsense, because in life you're gonna meet people who have their way about them. You just have to be the bigger person. Just don't let it get to you. So I just don't look at that. For me, is one thing I would just like the game to grow, and just one thing I would like is for the senior curriculum to give us a clubhouse that we could actually have to put up some cricket artifacts in the clubhouse, and people could just come down and just have, if you want to go up in the pavilion and have a drink and just enjoy the game of cricket with your family. That's my ultimate goal, for the senior curriculum to give us a clubhouse. We've been pushing it, but hopefully one day it could come around, and then we could have the greats like Tony and those guys who have been a part of the club long before I have got the names and plaques put up in the cricket club. And then somewhere down the road, somebody might say, hey, let's put Nigel's name on the wall. But other than that, I can't ask for a better club to be a part of. To me, it's the greatest cricket club all of British Columbia, just because of what we have to offer, and just the mere fact. The Windies Cricket Club, in my estimation, has been the only cricket club that has players from every international playing country in the world play for our club. We literally has a player from just about every playing cricket nation around the world has played for the Windies Cricket Club over the years. As it stands right now, it's a diverse cricket club. As much as we are, the bulk of the people is from the Caribbean, we allow everyone to come into the club and be a part of the club. If you've never played the game before, we are willing to teach you the game and develop your game. And if the time comes, you figure you want to transition, we have no problem with that. So long as we could teach people the culture and part of the game, that's what we strive to do as a cricket club. And that's one of our main goals, just to make the game grow, become better, and have everyone be part of the club. And we don't see race or color within the Windies Cricket Club. We just see it as being a club, a cultural sports club, and that's what we strive to do, and we'll continue to do that until I'm not around. Somebody could take up the mantle, and that's why I coach, and that's why I have young guys taking an active role within the club, so that they could carry on the legacy when I'm long gone, and we could just keep it going. And the legacy doesn't have to mean that you have to be from Caribbean background. You could be a Canadian-born white kid, but you've been a part of the club and you learn the culture and you just carry the legacy. And that's the only way growth can go. You don't discriminate and call it to get growth. once somebody can learn the culture of the club and know what the club is all about, hey, go ahead and do it. If down the road that's what it is, then I have no issue with that.
I think you also that way in being like this, you promote going against stereotypes, right? I think that's I can sense, right? There's of course you must have met some racism and by being an example like this, you do go against.
You go against the grain. You go against the grain, and this is what I've learned. I mean, I've just learned in life. You just have to take negative and make negative into positive, and you might find discouragedness along the line, but you don't let that stop your drive and your passion and your goals that you want to accomplish. So for me, that's the only way to progress in everything that we do, not just playing cricket or just sports, just in life. Just life general is very important to me, and just vastly into different cultures is very important to me. Understanding where people come from, and I could tell them where I come from, and then we could collaborate and just have an understanding for what we are as people, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. My skin color and your skin color might be different, but the bottom line, we are one people. We breathe the same air, we bleed the same blood. So it's just that hopefully along the way, more people could actually understand, hey, we all one people and we're all here for one reason, one purpose. So instead of just fighting each other down, why don't we just try to work together to make the world a better place? And that's just me as a person. That's what I strive in doing. I get along with everyone, and I just think that we all are put on the earth for a purpose. Some of us does not take our calling and do what we need to do. For me, I'm going to take my calling and do what I need to do and try to bridge gaps and just make everybody together as one melting pot so we can enjoy life. People who has grandkids and who doesn't have kids, but we all could just enjoy the same common ground. Hey, culture is a very important thing to everybody. But the only way culture grow is by different cultures crossing paths with each other and understanding what the different cultures are and getting a learning for it and just making things better. And that's what I strive to do. And that's why I keep working with my club. It's a challenge, but I don't give up from challenges. I don't give up from challenges. You'll see probably coming along, you'll meet young kids who have coached and make a difference in their life. I've known there's one kid in particular that he came to the coaching program, and this kid has transitioned, still playing cricket, he's become a dentist. And on this kid graduation night, his parents literally called me up on the stage and said that you were the influence of our sons finishing school. Because of you, what you did and how you helped him go to school, not even us. And for me, that was just gratifying. And this kid, he's not a black kid, but I just don't look at color when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't look at color when it comes to sport. Sport bridge gaps with people. And with sport, a lot of cultures come and pass, and you just help just promote and grow the game. So that's where I stand with it.
That's great. Yeah. I think this is it. I mean, thank you so much, Nigel. It was,
hey, my pleasure.
Awesome.
And thanks for giving me the platform to come on board and sharing my story and giving an insight to the Windies Cricket Club and what we have to offer and where we choose to go with it. And Marcus, I thank you. You don't much how from the first day I met you, I just felt that energy that you have for just seeing culture and seeing culture grow, and I testament to your hard work and your dedication. Here, young lady,
the hard work.
I appreciate everything that you have to offer, and let's look at us three different people right here sitting here. We have no axe to grind, just to get the work done and just do what we need to do, right? And that's, to me, that's how the world grows. That's how city grows. And that's how development grows, just by those small little things, and just meeting people makes a massive difference in your life. And I always tell people, it doesn't matter where you come from, one person could change your life.
Yeah, I noticed when you were on the game, right, it literally draws people in. I think I noticed, like, everyone was so happy, and then there were some people that walked by with their dog, and I think they looked at it, what on earth is this?
Yeah.
And then suddenly they stopped and they actually sat next to some of the old timers, and I felt like, wow, they've been drawn in.
And that's what cricket does, because cricket, people think that cricket is just an old boring little game, but it's not. like it's physical and mentally taxing game. But what cricket does, it draws people attention because everybody sees baseball and everybody sees football. If you're walking by the field, like, what sport is that? And then they just gravitate and they start asking, what sport is it? You tell them cricket, and they say, oh, I see it on TV, but I've never seen it playing before. And a lot of people don't even know the game has been played here. But Maccary Park is a melting pot for people, because that's a park where a lot of people walk around their dogs and people just go for it. They're just exercising. And they gravitate to the game, and I'm telling you, like on our family day, anyone who has the opportunity to come to the park and the first holiday weekend in August, it'll be the greatest experience anyone would have, because that vibe, the energy, you see all the flags, kites and music and all that. It's a great feeling. I'm not saying that because it's my club, but it helps grow the culture. It just helps lure people into what we have to offer. And our club is the only club within the entire league that does that. Okay. Because we just figure it's the best thing for the culture, the growth, and the development of community events. And that's why we strive to do that.
But you also link yourself into your home culture, into the West Indies. By
being a
player, is it right? You're really essential to both worlds.
Both worlds.
There's no extracting.
There's no extract, right? and that's the beauty of it. And then on that event, you have players from all over the world just wants to come and play the game, just to be a part of it. And so when you bring these guys in from all different islands of the Caribbean and they come up here, of course, some of them are shell-shocked because it's the first time they have ever traveled out of the Caribbean. First time being in Canada. You come and you look at this, and they look at it, it's like, this country is just ridiculously big. How do we get here? And you just see the joy in the faces that they have. It's a great feeling, right? And if you could help someone develop, because I know one of the guys who came up here the first year, and he said to me, Nigel, just coming here for the first time, I've learned so much. Yeah. Just help me grow, become a better person and a better individual. So how could you compete with that, right?
Yeah.
So that's a plus right there. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys once again.
That was amazing.